Hey seniors, today we're going to transition from solving systems of equations into unit rate. So before we get into like constants and slopes and all that stuff, we really need to spend a day reviewing unit rate and what proportionality means. So let's go ahead and jump in. On our notes page, go ahead and draw your line in the top left-hand corner. Go ahead and write unit rates. Don't worry about this yet. I'll tell you what to write. All right, so the first thing we need to talk about is what it means to have a relationship be proportional. And what that essentially means is proportionality means as x increases by 1, y will increase by the same amount every single time. Definitely go ahead and write that in your notes page, 100%. All right, the next thing, this should all be reviewed from 7th grade. Let's talk about unit rate. Where x is 1, y will represent your unit rate. So if I'm looking at a graph, wherever x is 1, y will be my unit rate. When I'm trying to determine, today we're going to look at tables and graphs. When I'm trying to determine if a table is proportional, find the slope. Find the slope. And ask yourself, does y increase by the same amount as x increases by 1? You don't have to write that. That's just good knowledge. Let's do an example. All right. Go ahead and quickly draw a rough draft of this table. It does not have to be the most beautiful table ever. Just get it down so you have something to refer to. Is the following scenario proportional? Well, I just said when I'm trying to figure out if relationships are proportional and I have a table, it works to try to figure out what the slope is. So does y, which will represent my apples, increase by the same amount each time that x increases? So in this case, I'm talking about hours and how many apples you can eat. So what this means is if I have 1 hour, let's say Diamante can eat 3 apples. You probably can eat a lot more than that, but for right now, we'll keep it at 3. So let's go ahead and just take 2 of these y values. Let's use 3 and 6 and find the slope between them. Well, 6 minus 3 is going to give me 3. So does it increase by, do my number of apples increase by 3 every hour? Well, if I have 1 hour, he eats 3 apples. If I have 2 hours, Diamante eats 6 hours. 3 plus 3 is 6. And if I have 3 hours, he eats 9 apples. 6 plus 3 is 9. This relationship is proportional because y is increasing by 3 as x increases by 1. So yes, this is proportional. All right, let's do another example. All right, let's talk about days versus exercise. Again, we're working with a table, so we want to find the slope. In this particular case, I'm interested to know if my number of minutes for exercising increases each day. Let's say Kathy Banks, she's trying to get in shape for basketball season, she wants to get some extra exercise in every day. So the first day, she exercises for 15 minutes. Again, I want to figure out, is this relationship proportional? Well, I want to find the slope. Days will represent my x value, y will be my exercise will be my y value. Let's go ahead and find the difference between 30 and 15. If I have 30 minus 15, that's going to leave me with 15. So I'm trying to figure out, do her minutes increase by 15 every single day? Well, just by looking at this table, this is pretty simple. It absolutely does. Because if the first day she exercises for 15 minutes, and then the second day she exercises for 30 minutes, 15 plus 15 equals 30, so yes, this relationship is proportional. If I wanted to add a 4th day, and she keeps going at the same rate, on the 4th day, she should exercise 60 minutes. All right, let's do one more example using a graph. We talked about unit rate, and remember, unit rate is wherever x is 1, y is my unit rate. So if I'm looking at this particular graph, this graph is comparing amount of servings of chow mein to serving size. So my first thing I want to do when I'm looking at unit rate is figure out where is x1 on this graph. Well, x is 1 at 1 and 250. And if I wanted to write this in words, that means for 1 serving size, I'm going to get 250 grams of food. So again, I want to figure out, so of these answer choices, 1 and 250, where 250 is the unit rate, because wherever x is 1, y is my unit rate. What I need to figure out now is this relationship proportional? So again, if I have one serving size, oops, let me just write that as a 1. I'm going to have 250 grams of food. Likewise, I want my grams to increase by 250, since 250 is my unit rate. So let's go ahead and look at my next point. My next point is at 500. 250 plus 250 is going to give me 500. So yes, this relationship is proportional because as x increases by 1, so x goes from 1 to 2, my unit rate is going to add 250 grams of food to each serving size. So 250 plus 250 will give me 500. 500 plus 250 will give me 750. And so yes, this relationship of servings to grams of food is absolutely proportional. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. Let's go ahead and practice.